Hello everybody, we are back after nearly a week pause in my videos, and if you saw the reason why on my little poll thing or whatever that I created on YouTube, it's because there has been a lot of construction for the house or area right next door to us, and so it was just impossible to do videos. There's still noise going on today, but not nearly as bad as it was during the beginning of the week. But I would say if you're new and you like to see videos, or if you're somebody that's already been around, of course stick around. If you're new, subscribe please, and thank you as I try to make this a career. But we have some interesting news and just kind of a story I wanted to talk about in the hockey world today, and that is about Alex Ovechkin. Ovi is just on record and on pace to be a guy that you will remember forever. Basically already is. But this was something that Puck Empire posted the other day that I really found interesting, and this was about where his future is headed and where is Alex Ovechkin headed, which I think they summed it up really well. And they talked about what and how long it took to get to each milestone for each 100 of his goals. The first 100, the second 100, blah blah blah. And so we're talking about that and kind of where he's headed now. For Ovi, the first goal in his career came October 5th, 2005. I would have been 5 and I would have been in kindergarten at this time. That was his first NHL goal, and it was in 2007 where he was able to hit career goal number 100, and then going on from there, it was 2016 that he hit 500. I actually remember that moment pretty well. And here he is progressing from that moment where a lot of people felt like, yes, he is still a very, very good player, but what exactly are we talking about here? Is he going to be a guy that would go on to break Gretzky's record? Which seems unimaginable. I don't know if you've heard this story before, and I don't know if it's 100% accurate. I might be getting one or two details wrong on this, but Wayne Gretzky set either 62 or 63 records in his time in the league, and in that time, since he's been gone, which has been a little over 20 years, I would say, in that time, I think out of those 60 plus records that were broken, only 2 have been broken. So basically, he still holds 60 records in the NHL. And the goal record was viewed as this unachievable thing that nobody would ever get to. Enter Alex Ovechkin. And I don't exactly remember anybody getting to a point saying, oh, he's gonna break it, he's gonna break it. But I do think come 2018, people started to talk about it a little bit more. That's when he hit 600 career goals, and then we have progressed even further. He hit 700 career goals in 2020, and then of course the other night hit 800 career goals with a hat trick. The question not only now becomes, will he break it, but the question is, will he break it as long as he's healthy, but also how much farther could he go, which I think is really the talking point here. And what is his legacy going to be? Because as it looks right now, if Alex Ovechkin continued at this pace, he'd actually hit his 900th career goal on February 6th, 2025, which is not the exact date like Puck Empire said. It was kind of around there, but that's very interesting because we're looking at that, and that is before his contract is up. That is actually, I think his contract, the final year of that is the 2025-26 season. We're looking at a healthy Ovi getting this done before this deal is over, which means there is a really good chance, as long as he doesn't fall off a cliff, that he's going to be able to break this record. Why? Because he really doesn't miss games, and he's a player that's been very consistent when it comes to scoring goals at a regular level. I think a few years ago he had like 32 goals in a season, and everybody thought, oh, is this actually going to be the end, where Ovechkin is not able to go on and try to break the Great One's record. And now I think it's safe to say that we have a legitimate chance to see it broken. I think it's going to be a push, and well, I'd say that it's pretty much impossible for him to not finish at least second all-time in goals. I know Gordie Howe has 801, but of course Ovechkin has 800. He still has plenty of time left on his contract, and so we're looking at him being at least the second best goal scorer in NHL history, probably by the end of the week, and that is what we're dealing with now. But the question then becomes with the Capitals and Ovechkin is, if he decides to stay past that deal, could we be talking about 1,000 goals? Could he be the first player to hit that 4-digit total in NHL history? Possibly the only player, might I add. I don't know, but according to Puck Empire, actually looks like sometime around April 2027, if Ovechkin was under contract, he would hit that 1,000 goal mark. Now, I will say this. I would imagine at some point that he's going to fall off a bit. I think, in my opinion, that the Capitals are going to give him that opportunity to pass Gretzky, and I think that he's going to hit 900 career goals. I am a little bit shy of saying that 1,000 is going to happen. Yeah, he's been absolutely torching the league since the mid-2000s there. In 2005 is when he started it all. But I'd also have to say that with age and the potential for injury, and then of course the state of the team, he might not be in a spot to do that. Still though, the good news for Capitals fans, Alex Ovechkin fans, etc. is that the Capitals owner basically said, we do not want to do a rebuild. We want to get going. We want to be able to provide him with a great chance to break this record and to be competitive, which is really good because Ovi just said recently, hey, I do not want to go through a rebuild. I don't want to be on a bad team while I'm chasing this record. And that makes me happy because if you're an Ovi fan or somebody that enjoys his game, respects his game, you understand that the possibility of him, maybe saying I want to trade to another team could have been real. If they said we're going to bottom out and you can chase the goal record while we try to do a rebuild, that would have been a serious problem. But now it looks like, at the very least, the team will spend money. Even if they're not great, they'll at least spend money to probably help him out, maybe have good line mates to keep that going so he can try to achieve what seemed like the unachievable. I don't know. I think at this point, I'm going to be bold and say that he is going to break the record. He is going to pass Gretzky. And while people will dog on him, here is my honest opinion. Yes, Gretzky won multiple Stanley Cups and Ovechkin only has one. But is that really the sole basis of what we're going to talk about for this record specifically and the impact Ovechkin has had? Yes, you look at the points that Gretzky put up, and yes, you look at some of the seasons that he had, which are basically never going to happen again in league history. I get that. But at the same time, do not discredit Alex Ovechkin as a player and what he's been able to do. You look at this Washington Capitals squad and how he's able to reinvigorate them. Not only that, but make them a legitimate, at least dark horse most years to win the Stanley Cup, if not Stanley Cup favorite when they had really good squads, were winning the President's Trophy, and eventually they did crack through. 2018 was probably one of the most magical runs in our sport ever because you got to see a player of Ovechkin's legacy finally get that off of his back, to get all that weight, all that stress, all the public media just garbage and nonsense out of there, and he was able to win his first championship. I can tell you one thing right now. With the squad that they had without Ovechkin, they're not winning a Stanley Cup any of those years, in my opinion. Would things have been different? Yeah, the standings would have been different, the draft would have been different, free agency would have been different, but if you just said we're going to keep this squad exactly the same. Oilers, this is no discredit to Gretzky, mind you, the Oilers won a championship right after Gretzky was traded to the Kings. I think it was 1990, if I'm not mistaken, and Gretzky was traded right around there. If the Capitals had traded Ovechkin in 2019, do they even sniff the playoffs? Legitimate question. And I think that they did have a lot of good, talented players on their roster, but that's my argument right there. Just what I'm saying is, hear me out. This is a record that is going up there with the all-time greats. Please do not discredit Ovechkin because of Gretzky. Of course, Gretzky is the guy. He is the great one. But this is the great eight. And of course, he has got the great chase trademark that he just trademarked the other day. And all I'm saying, whether you love him, whether you hate him, just get in the moment and just see what happens, because we could be seeing history here. I don't know if we'll ever see somebody do it again. Matthews is a prolific goal scorer, but will he be able to do it when he is 38 or something like that? I don't know. I think that's why we just have to enjoy the moment and see where it goes. But that is all for this video. Do you think Ovechkin is going to break the record? Do you think that he'll hit 1,000 goals? Will it be with the Washington Capitals? What year it will be? Etc. etc. Is this the greatest achievement in NHL history for an individual? I want to know that for their career. Let me know down below in the comments. Also, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. More videos coming out this week. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night. And you go off hockey, all right. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.